What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony, Lori, and Mike, and we are recording our first episode of 2023. Happy New Year, everyone. And the episode we are discussing is from 2022. We are talking about The Boys, Season 3, Episode 6, Herogasm.
Finally.
Oh my God. It literally seems like we should have been, yeah.
So we have to thank Michelle for reminding us that we never finished recording The Boys because we all got so busy with vacations and other shows and conventions towards the later part, the later part of last year. And she was like, I need y'all to go ahead and discuss that episode. And I was like, what episode? She was like, the episode of The Boys. I said, Herogasm, oh no, we didn't record that. So thank you to Michelle for reminding us that we need to finish. We're talking Herogasm. Is she in the background listening?
Yes, she is.
So we're going to talk about Herogasm. And for those of you who have been living under a rock, Herogasm was like the most talked about episode of The Boys, I think, ever. Also one of the most talked about episodes for TV last year because of the fact of, it's basically a big orgy with superheroes and it's The Boys. So, there's going to be some fuckery and shenanigans along with that. And,
oh my God.
Yeah, okay, we're going to talk about it in detail.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa. Okay.
Hold on a second. Before we get into it, let me read. This is one of the first Boys episodes that actually had a disclaimer at the front at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I have it pulled up. I have to read this disclaimer.
I was just getting ready to, but by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, it says, some scenes may not be suitable for some, or really most, let's be honest, all viewers. But rest assured that any consensual relationships depicted, be they human, animal, superhero, or other, aren't real, harmed no one, and in fact cost a hilariously large amount of money in visual effects. I'm like, animals? Like, wait. That right there is like, this show's already off the rails as far as content, like violence and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. But for them to put that up there, everybody's like, what the fuck are y'all getting ready to do? And it's like everybody who's read the comics are like, oh yeah, just wait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the fact is like most people, like I haven't read them, but I know people who have, and they were like, they didn't even touch most of the shit they put in the comics.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling when I watched the episode because, okay, I'm going to say this right up front before we get into it. They gave us all of these interviews with the stars who were talking about, why they were filming. Oh my God, I can't believe some of the stuff I was watching and all this stuff. And they really hyped it up to be this like uber. I don't know. They hyped it up so much. And I'm going to be honest, when I watched the episode, I felt a little underwhelmed by it. Was I the only one who looked at it like, okay, so, there were a couple of things. The whole thing with the deep, that was a bit over the top.
And the whole thing with the mother's milk thing.
There were...
Yeah.
There were moments like I understand what you're saying. Like there was so much hype about the episode, mm-hmm. and you thought it was going to be like this extravaganza of just insaneness, and there were really just like 2 or 3 moments where you're like, oh wow, that's insane. And then that was it. But like overall, the episode was like, yeah, it was good. Probably the best episode of the season so far, but it definitely wasn't as I don't know, as everyone had played it up to be.
And to be honest, if you remember,
factor for me, like when we saw the first episode of season 3, the whole thing with the exploding penis, I think I was more shocked at that than I was this episode. Like there were some things in this episode, like you said, that was kind of jaw dropping, but it had nothing to do with the Herogasm scene.
Yeah. Just the one last Alonzo scene.
And there's actually in the first season, there was an episode where they were in a hotel and they had like it was an orgy scene because it was an orgy scene in the first episode, and that scene had moments in it that were probably a little more daring than the moments that they had in this episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, but then again, you have to look at it like this. It's like you kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to put on TV where people aren't going to be like thrown off. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can put like there's certain things you probably people be like, oh, I'm not watching that shit, or they're like, I'm kind of uncomfortable. Like, I mean, they don't want to like, but even they want to turn people off, even though they know people should know that it's just like Super Chicken says, you know, the job is dangerous when you took it. You know, you're going to get kind of grossed out when you watch this. You know, there's going to be some bullshit. So you might as well just prepare yourself for the bullshit. But I guess they kind of picked and choose what they wanted to show because they were like, well, I don't want to gross someone completely out.
Well, there was no.
Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Two.
No, I agree.
Don't hype it up to be okay. I guess, and I understand maybe it's just because of the platform that it was on. You know, it's like, okay, so we can kind of push the boundaries a little bit more than we would if this was on network TV or even some cable shows. But I'm just like, I've seen Eyes Wide Shut. I've seen the orgy scene from Spartacus. I've seen the orgy scene from True Blood.
How about House of the Dragon?
This didn't even.
Yeah, the brothel when he was walking her through.
Even House of the Dragon, I felt like was a bit tame for what I was expecting. Maybe the scene, the orgy scene in The Witcher was a little bit more risque. But I mean, for me, if you go back and look at the scene that was in True Blood, because again, in that scene, they were all like under magical influence, so they were really no holds barred. To me, that was more shocking than this episode was. Not saying that the episode wasn't good. It's just that I felt a little let down by all the hype surrounding it. Like, oh, okay, you guys are going to be like, when I watch The Boys, I'm looking to see how far they're going to push the envelope. Like, okay, you guys did this, you guys did that. You can't top that in grossness. You can't top that in violence. You can't top that in, you know, that's what I'm looking for when I watch The Boys.
If this would have been on HBO Max, we would have gotten it.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, that's the difference between HBO and Amazon Prime. Like HBO basically put a show about a brothel on. So it's like, they're not afraid to push sexual boundaries. Yeah. They literally had a show called Real Sex with people having sex with sex dolls. So I
remember. I love that show.
Yeah, but like Hanako said, that sort of begs a question because The Boys started out pushing the envelope. Mm-hmm. Like there were things that we had not ever really seen on any TV show that was happening in The Boys.
Yeah,
like you say, even the first episode of this season, where he walks into his penis and there are things that I don't know if our expectations are a little bit different, but like if I have to see the deep one more time with an octopus, I'm just gonna be like, okay, that is enough. Like I got it. We get it. That's enough.
Well, I mean, okay. But Anthony, sharks have teeth, so it's like he doesn't want to risk like losing something. So it's like he has to pick and choose.
I mean, there's other, you know,
jellyfish sting. So it's like you don't want to risk that either.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, we are going on. That tangent is one I do not.
Whatever. We could talk about dolphins. He'd be okay with any other mammal in the sea. Dolphins, orcas, you know, porpoises, whatever. But do we have to see another squid? Or octopus. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
sea cucumbers. I mean, there's things out there.
Sea sponges.
No, we are not going down this. No, we are going to stop this right. We're going to stop this right here. We're going to get into the episode because this is a tangent I am not ready to go down. My mind is not in that space. No, we are not going.
But you do have a point. There's a wide variety of marine life that you could have picked. But I mean, they just kind of got lazy. I agree with you there. They kind of got lazy, kind of running the whole octopus. It's like a running gag with the octopus. So I can actually kind of agree with you with that.
The fact that we
And he should have been
discussion,
traumatized. She should have been traumatized for what happened to Timmy. Like he should be, you know what? I think I'm gonna lay off the. No, he's not. You just ate one of them, then you come right back to another one.
He's just octosexual. He can't help himself.
I can't with y'all. I knew this episode was gonna be strange, but the fact that we are sitting here debating.
My name is Bennett, and I'm not in it.
What type of marine life he's supposed to be fucking instead of an octopus?
No, I'm just saying some variety. That's all.
He had choices. That's all I'm saying. They're choices.
Options.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I get that.
So let's. So anyway, that all happens later on in the episode. Let's talk about how we start the episode off, because up until I rewatched it today, I completely forgot about this. So of course, in the last episode, Soldier Boy is back. He is in town. He accidentally blew up Midtown and killed some civilians. And this is now the big thing on the news, because nobody at this point, except for Butcher's gang, knows that Soldier Boy is even alive and that he's here in the States. So, everybody, the media, Vought, they're all thinking that this is some kind of super terrorist. So we start out the episode with the Deep making this little selfie video, and I didn't realize until earlier today that they were doing a parody of the Imagine video that Gal Gadot did a while back. I completely forgot about that video.
Yeah, right before the pandemic.
Yes, the whole Imagine with all.
She got a lot of heat for.
Yes, she did. So the Deep is talking about, about these attacks and how we need to come together and unite to imagine a better world. And then he starts this very horrible off-key version of John Lennon's Imagine. And it's bad enough that it's him. Then we get Patton Oswalt, Josh Gad, A-Train, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, Elizabeth Banks, Kumail Nanjiani, Aisha Tyler, Rose Byrne, and Black Noir, all singing, the different lines of the song, ending with Black Noir holding up a sign saying, "And the world will live as one." I just...
so cringy.
I just want to say one thing before we get into this discussion. I don't know if we mentioned this before, but I just want to give a shout out to Chase Crawford for being able to do all of this deep stuff with a straight face.
We have talked about this before, because we were like, how do you do this without laughing? Like, how many takes does it take to get amazed to the center of a boy's scene?
I'm just amazed that he doesn't break down every time he does something, whether it be with the octopus or whether it be, with his girlfriend or wife or whatever. He just has this serious, straight face look, and kudos to him. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do
That's
it.
True.
I could not do it.
And they're sitting in the meeting like, "This is what we want you to do," and he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm good with that."
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, okay, so that's pushing the envelope. Oh, okay, well, in the next episode, this is what you want me to do. Oh, okay, I can do that. And it's like every time they give him something to do, I feel like sometimes they might just throw stuff at him just to see what he's going to say, and then he delivers, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess we have to do that now. Because I don't understand. But yeah, you're right, Mike. That was probably, I think that cringed me out more than the Herogasm scene. I was just like, and then when you start seeing the other celebrities pop up, I said, you know what? These people probably didn't even get paid to be in this episode. They were like, "Ooh, I want to do this. Right. Just let me do this. Like 5 seconds of my time, absolutely, I'll do it."
Shout out to Kumail being in everything, like everything. Like damn, like what is he not in? He's like you just see him everywhere. I'm like, okay, I'm glad he didn't stand up and take his shirt off so he could like get some more pec time.
I wouldn't have been mad, but nah.
Yeah, that was so cringy, dude. Ugh.
But
That whole
isn't Aisha
song.
Tyler, isn't she in Diabolical? So I'm sure they probably didn't have to pay her.
I believe she is. I still have not seen that yet. I need to watch it.
And I didn't realize that was Josh Gad until I actually looked it up because he was like all hoodied out and like scruffy. I was like,
All you
he
had
looks
to do
familiar.
was look at the movie posters in the background.
I know, that's why I figured it out. I was just like, oh shit, Josh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, oh my God.
That was
Yeah, I barely paid attention to who was in the video because I was laughing so hard because I had seen the Gal Gadot thing maybe like a day before that because I had never, seen it. And so I just started busting out laughing. I thought it was hysterical. They did a good job with that. I like when shows do that, when they throw in a joke that's, like a social media thing and people get it. And it actually fit because this is something that they would do in this universe. They would do a joke like that. So it was awesome.
Yeah, they do a lot of that with the boys, where they take something that's actually happened and they make fun of it. So it was funny. I had to pause it a lot too because I couldn't get through it because we all know most of these people probably can sing. And the fact that they were so purposefully singing it off key and just making it even more and more cringeworthy. It was hilarious to me. Like I kept pausing it. That's why I was able to pay attention, Lord, because I kept pausing it because I was laughing too hard. And then every time a new face would pop up, I'd be like, hold up, wait, I wasn't prepared. So that was funny. It was cringeworthy. It was excellently done. Kudos. So we go to the, I guess you want to call it, this situation room. Vought has pretty much fired all of the people who worked in the control room for the news. And that was just the Deep and Ashley and Homelander and Black Noir. And what they're doing is they're finding out who killed Crimson Countess. And they see that it's Soulja Boy. And of course, they're all shocked because they're like, he's supposed to be dead. He's not supposed to be alive. And Homelander, I think his reaction was so funny to me because he sees that Soulja Boy is alive. And instead of trying to figure out how is he alive, why is he alive, asking the pertinent questions like Ashley is doing, he's basically like, this is going to screw me over. I'm fucked. Vought is fucked. No, I'm fucked. This isn't fair. It's not fair. I'm like, dude, you need to focus. You have a bigger problem on your hands than your reputation. But of course, this is Homelander, so
that's all that matters to him. All that matters to him is his reputation.
Right.
That's all that matters.
Right. So while he's getting ready to go and handle it, he takes Black Noir with him and he turns to Black Noir. And I think we saw a lot of emotional vulnerability with Homelander in this episode. We get to really see that he really doesn't have it all together, which we already knew. But I think we see him being a little more insecure in this episode than we have in a long time. And he's sitting there and he's talking to Black Noir. He was like, he's your old teammate. Why would he be doing this? Why would he kill her? And he was like, I'm so glad to have you here with me. I'm glad I can count on you. He leaves. Black Noir gets on the elevator. He takes out that tracker, and he's gone. And I was like, oh, so.
And that little quick walk he gave after the doors opened, he was just like,
like, yeah, trying to get the fuck on.
I was like, oh my God, that shit was funny as hell. I mean, I wish we could have. That's the little bad thing about him, us not being able to see his facial expressions. I would love been able to see a facial expression of him, just like be like, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Because you have to wonder what is going on behind the mask. First of all, when he sees Soulja Boy, because as we know, his team sold him out. And as we find out later on in the episode, when Soulja Boy finally is able to confront the twins, that it was Black Noir who sold him out to begin with. So you gotta think that when he sees Soulja Boy on this surveillance footage, his face had to take on an oh shit type look. But of course, because he has his mask on, we can't see it. So I would just love to be able to see the emotions that he's going through. Like, oh, fuck, how do I get out of this? Okay, so what am I supposed to do? How am I going to do this? And of course, Homelander now wants to go after Soldier Boy. And I don't think he's ready. I think Black Noir knows, oh, this is not a fight that you want. And
especially when Homelander says, you're the only person I can trust. It's just you and me. And Black Noir probably under his mask like, me who? You who's we? Oh, no.
Who's us? What, we?
Like, there is no us and bye.
Like, nah. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
So Black Noir leaves, and then we get the scene with Soldier Boy, Butcher, and Hughie. And this is the first time that we've gotten to see, or that we're getting to really listen to Soldier Boy be himself. Okay, so y'all know I love Jensen. But it's so weird watching him play this character and be such a huge douche.
Ugh.
The things that was coming out of this dude's mouth when he started talking about, he was like, you know, there was a commercial on about, you know, the men with the baby character. He was like, men walk around in them things now. And he was like, yeah, dads do. You know, they didn't do this in my day. You know, you wouldn't see the cars doing this. And he was like, that's a whole lot to unpack there, because we have to remember Soldier Boy has been in cryo and being experimented on for the last, 40 years? So he doesn't know any of this stuff. Just like when he's trying to tell them that, oh, I don't need y'all's help. And he was like, oh, so do you know what Wi-Fi is? Do you know what Bluetooth is? The internet? He's like, you made those words up.
You made those words up.
No, those are real words. And those are things you're going to need in order to find the people that you're looking for. But listening to him talk about all this stuff, and it's just like, oh my God, y'all took like the most toxic qualities of masculinity and y'all put it all in one person. And we've only been listening to him talk for like 3 minutes now. I'm almost scared to see what else he's going to say during the rest of his appearance in this show.
You also have to remember where he's from, like his time period. You know, the mindset was very different.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already a problem.
A lot, yeah.
Already, but then put that in the context of how he was raised and the time period, then yeah, he's his
like when they gave him the food, he was like, "Where's the chopsaki Oriental sauce?" You're like,
yeah, they don't make that anymore. Well, why not? Oh, a whole bunch of reasons.
A bunch of reasons. God, like, jeez. And like the whole thing where you said, no, Dr. Bill Cosby, nah, that's a man. I was like, oh God.
He used to make really strong drinks.
To make really strong drinks.
Again, they just pulling stuff that just is gold. It was.
I literally had to pause it at that moment because I was inconsolable. I was rolling. I was like, nuh-uh, come on now.
I was like, oh, y'all are making him the ultimate douchebag. Like, y'all are really trying to make him into a character that we're going to hate more than Homelander. I don't see that happening because, again, Anthony, I feel he's a product of his time.
Yeah.
So we're hearing all the stuff that was, quote unquote, acceptable 40 years ago. Like, people used to say this stuff out loud and it wouldn't have been a big deal. You can't do that now. You know, times have changed, but oh my God. And you kind of have to look at that when you're thinking about Soldier Boy versus Homelander. Like, Soldier Boy is not up to date with anything. So we're getting him in his purest form from 40 years ago. Homelander lives in the here and now. He knows what's right and what's wrong, and he still is a douche.
And what does Butcher say? You know, you help us kill Homelander. He's like, I've seen pictures of him. Who's he? And he's like, he's the new you.
There is no new me.
There's nobody's the new me, pal. Like,
yeah. They say, look at that. He wears a cape.
So the comment he made later on when they finally come face to face with each other. And Homelander is talking to him and he was like, I used to idolize you. I used to watch your TV shows all the time. You know, you were the only person who was as strong as me. And he's like, strong? You think you're strong, buddy? You're wearing a cape. And the Homelander's look on his face, he was like, excuse me? He was so insulted. But it was so funny because he said it was straight. He was like, you're wearing a cape. How strong can you be? We'll talk about Soldier Boy and Homelander's confrontation later because that was a great fight scene.
Epic.
That was a great fight scene. So let's see. Where do we want to start? Okay, we got to talk about A-Train first.
Oh my God, A-Train goes to fucking Africa. Oh, bruh, no. That's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. No.
Right.
But I'm going to abstain from this conversation about A-Train.
Why?
I'm just playing because I'm going to go back to what I said before. I really think that he's going to have a moment where he gets to redeem himself.
I kind of sort of feel like that after this episode. I know I disagreed with it earlier because I was like, he doesn't need or he doesn't deserve a shot at redemption, but I don't know. I kind of feel like, and unfortunately, it took someone close to him getting hurt, I think, for him to eternalize everything that he's done to other people and to realize it. And, you know, that's the one thing about Ashley's comment to him in this scene, because he wants justice for his brother. You know, last episode, Blue Hawk got into an argument with the people at the community center, started throwing people around, and A-Train's brother ends up paralyzed because of it. Doctors say he will never walk again. So, you know, A-Train is feeling a little bit of guilt, and he's also feeling some anger, and he wants Vought to take care of Blue Hawk. But of course, you know, Vought, they're going to take care of their own before they take care of anybody else. You know?
Right.
And when he talks, he basically tries to force Ashley to take care of Blue Hawk. She was like, oh, hold up. She was like, first of all, she pulls her hair out and he's looking at her like, what the fuck? And then she was like, I have taken so many hours of blah, blah, blah to learn to cover up your shit. You were out there doing things. You were out there hurting people. You killed 3 people. You got 3 bodies. I had to cover all of that up. But now that something has happened to you, you want us to take care of it. She was like, oh, fuck yourself. And he was sitting there and it's like, I think in a way he was upset because she wasn't taking him seriously. But at the same time, I think he was upset because she was also right.
Yeah.
Like when you really stop to think about it, she gave all facts. You know, she was like, when you were out doing this, when you were getting your toes sucked by Popclaw, who, by the way, you also killed. Yeah, I know about that. She was like, we covered up all of that. So yeah, you're going to sit down and let us do this and handle it the way that we handle it. And you're going to be happy about it. And you ain't going to say shit because we've already done this for you.
And it's almost like she's hitting him in the head with a sledgehammer that says you need to take responsibility for your shit before you tell other people they need to take responsibility for theirs.
Yeah.
And I think
this is almost
that's where he finds his redemption at some point.
This is almost just like the read that she gave him when they were filming when they were on set filming the film, and he was like, I want to get this, where they were trying to get ready to write him out of the movie, and she was like, you'll do the fuck I say, and like she read him too. Like he needs to learn to leave her the fuck alone, because she has his number like hard. Like she'll read him at the drop of a hat. And I'm like, damn.
I think we see that Ashley has certain soups that she is afraid of. A-Train is not one of those soups.
At all. It's really just one. It's really just Homelander.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, nobody is scared of A-Train, period. Okay. I mean, seriously, a 5-year-old could take him. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah. Because nobody's taking him seriously at this point. Like, you have flip-flopped between loyalties. You are parading around in this new colorful Kente inspired suit that again
Trash.
nobody's taking seriously because you have not, like, you're trying to rebrand yourself as the proud Black man who's taking care of his community, and that's never been your focus before.
Well, you've been a sellout your whole life, your
Yeah.
whole career. You have sold everything about you away,
Mhm.
and no one can take you seriously because you've never really taken yourself seriously.
Right.
Yeah, you can't just turn on a dime and go do a 180 from this to this like that. Like no one's going to believe you. Like, like nah, man. It's like you just
And
they're always saying scam.
that's why he needs to take responsibility for his own crap before anyone can take him seriously.
Right. But
He's also a recovering drug addict. Those that know him know this about him, and that's hard to overcome from the beginning.
Yeah. Especially it wasn't just the regular drugs, like the drugs that we hear about. He was on some whole different level stuff that has had, I mean, it's had its own negative effects on him, not just with his speed or, all of that, but him being under the influence of those drugs is how he ended up killing people in the first place. With Robin, Pop Claw, even though there were some extra factors that were Pop Claw because of the fact that they were in a relationship and he was jealous, and just A-Train is a lot to unpack. So,
Not really. I mean, he is what he is.
Yeah. Do I think he's going to get a redemption arc? Probably, especially after this episode. We know that he takes Ashley's words to heart, because when he bumps into Starlight at the twins compound during Herogasm. Yeah. Well, first with Starlight, because I feel like there was a little, like, she's trying to get him to help her get all the people out. And I think in some ways I feel like he kind of blames her also for some of the mess that he's in, as far as they've always had a contentious relationship, and it's been a lot of back and forth, or I'm gonna tell you about this, well, I'm gonna tell you about this, and it's kind of like, I don't think he knows whether or not he can trust her or not, especially since he indirectly is the cause of Alex being killed, But yeah, I think when Hughie is the one who actually like confronts him. And I think that came out of the blue. They bump into each other and he gives Hughie this kind of brush off attitude. And then Hughie's like, oh, we're about to do this. We're going to confront this. And he, goes to him. He's like, you never said sorry. And when he tells it to him, A-Train is like, oh, okay, you know what? And you think they're about to go off. And then he says, I'm sorry, Hughie. You never really understand the impact of what you do to people until someone you love is hurt. And you can kind of see at that moment, he's like, okay, I need to start owning up. Do I think it's a little too late? I don't know. Because I'm still like, I get everything that you're saying about him, Anthony, about him being, recovering drug addict and this, that, and the other. But I just kind of feel like I don't know if I want his, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on what I want from A-Train at this point. Like, do I want him to be redeemed? I don't think I want that, because then what would it accomplish? The people, I don't know. He's just one of those characters that I feel like I really don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, because I feel like when you have a redemption story, in order for it to be a good redemption story, I feel like there has to be a bit of a transformative process with the character. And I just feel like his brother being hurt and paralyzed, yes, that's something that will make him kind of stop and think about what he's doing. But I don't know if I feel like he is gone through enough for it to be a true redemption. I feel like if he's redeemed at this point, it's only going to be temporary. And then once he gets comfortable, he'll probably go back to his old ways, his ways of being selfish, his ways of, you know, everything being only about him. And even now, even with the apology that he gave to Hughie and what he does with Blue Hawk later on, it's not really about him changing or wanting to be better. He's pissed, you know, oh, this happened to me, and oh, okay, I guess I should apologize because I did this to somebody else. I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't gone through, he hasn't earned a redemption story. Maybe that'll happen next season. Maybe that'll happen in the next 2 episodes that we have to discuss for this season. But I don't know. I don't feel like he deserves one now.
I think the path he's on now, since what happened to his brother, is supposed to be what leads up to him earning his ability to redeem himself.
You think his brother's injury is the catalyst? It's just like the start of whatever's gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah. And his quest to try to get justice for his brother through Blue Hawk and all the things that's going to happen. I think all of that started with his brother, because even at the time, what was going on with his brother and Blue Hawk and what was going on in the community was still kind of self-serving. Like, he was still sort of doing it for him, you know, sort of this altruistic thing that he's trying to do. Well, no, actually, your brother does get hurt. And it is something that directly affects him. Like you said, anytime something happens to a loved one, it makes you take a moment, a pause. You know, we always say people are always one way about something until it happens to someone close to them or themselves. Then they do change their mind, or they at least start thinking about the things that are happening around them. Well, here, he never thought about his community or how soups affect regular people. Like, he witnessed firsthand how a soup can destroy the life of a normal person. Like, that's why he apologized to Hughie. Like, he ruined Hughie's life just by being, you know, who he was, being a soup. And you don't think about the collateral damage or the consequences of your actions, or not taking responsibility for it, because he could have stopped him. Oh my God, I messed up. Called someone, try to console Hughie. No, he's like, no, I'm busy. I got to go. You know what I mean? And when something happens to you, you start looking back on those things like, you know what? Yeah, I was not right. You know, I'm just saying, he may not have quite earned his right to get redemption, but I think that was a catalyst to set him on that path. I mean, he still has a long way to go. Like,
oh yeah. And like I said, we still have 2 episodes for this season to see what else his character does. But it's kind of like, I don't know. And then with what happens later on with Blue Hawk, he basically becomes a vigilante, because instead of waiting for the authorities to deal with Blue Hawk or for Vault to deal with Blue Hawk, I just feel, you know, I feel like if he was really in the mindset of, okay, let me change the way that I'm doing things and let me change how I react to things to be better, he wouldn't have done to Blue Hawk what he did. But he was acting totally on emotions at that point. And it's kind of like, I feel like whatever steps he was making towards redemption up to that point, he kind of hit the reset bar with Blue Hawk, because it's like, now you just literally killed another person in cold blood.
Literally,
no, it wasn't really in cold blood. It was an act of emotion. Like, that was his emotional reaction to this guy that paralyzed his brother.
Yeah.
And who was flippant about the whole situation. So it wasn't really in cold blood. We just call that in the heat of passion killing. So it wasn't quite, his blood was pretty hot. He wasn't cold blooded.
But I guess
it was pretty hot out because of friction, because he drug him like 5 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was
Killing Hughie's
think...
girlfriend was cold blooded because it didn't mean anything to him. this actually meant something to him.
Yeah, but I guess because even with the way Blue Hawk reacted in this episode, I don't think he was being callous about it or he was being flippant. He had bigger things to be thinking about. Like literally Soldier Boy just decimated the whole house, killed a whole bunch of people, injured a lot of people. And Blue Hawk was like, yo, we could talk about this later. Like we have other things to deal with right now. And I understand that, you know, A-Train probably didn't care about any of that, but I don't know. I have conflicting feelings about that character. Maybe they'll change in the next couple of episodes, but right now I don't know. There's just something about him. I just don't like him. I don't think he deserves a redemptive arc. I don't know.
Well, I do think that it was it was kind of cold and calculating for him to kill Blue Hawk, because why else was he there? He wasn't naked. He wasn't participating in any of the Herogasm shit. He was there for Blue Hawk. He was free. I mean, I think he really
no, he was
there
not. He was there. I think well.
Why else was he there? Because he wasn't naked. He wasn't participating.
Yeah, you're right. Because I was thinking that he was there for the twins, but no, Homelander sent the deep for the twins. So you're right. You're right.
I mean, it's like he was only there for Blue Hawk. It's like after he got cussed out by Ashley and saw that she wasn't going to do shit about it, he was like, well, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And he went there looking for him. Like he was walking around looking like steel faced, looking for him when he bumped into Hughie. And it's like you saw he was like, oh fuck. Then next thing you know, he finds him, grabs him by the throat, throws him down, and gives him the world's longest friction burn. It's like I think he went there. He went there looking for that shit, and it's like that because I mean that's the only thing he. I mean I can understand his feeling of helplessness, like when he found out that it's like with all he can do, he can't save his brother. He can't help his brother to walk again. He's like he can't do shit about that. So it's like, well, what can I do? He has all this guilt on him, and he's like, Vought won't do anything. I can't. It's like I have to do whatever I can do to soothe my guilt. So so that's why he went there. He went there, sought him out, and
yeah. But you know, he probably should have thought about that a little bit more because he was told not to run. And he ran.
Passion,
and I mean, like you said, drug Blue Hawk like it was nothing. Like that dude was hamburger meat by the time A-Train stopped. Ugh. And of course, you know, he grabs his chest, his heart is beating way too fast, and he collapses, passes out.
I thought he was there. I thought they were going to end it. I was like, oh fuck, he's dead. Like, because the last thing you see of him is just like his mouth open and his eyes and him looking off into this. I was like, he's dead. Like he killed himself.
And the way they played the sound effect, because you could hear his heart, and then all of a sudden you don't hear it anymore. So I was like, did they kill him? But looking at him, it's kind of like you don't hear his heart, but you can still see him moving, kind of like in a daze. So I don't think he's dead. But yeah, I guess at this point it's going to be, was your revenge worth it? Because we don't know what kind of damage that's going to do to his body.
Right.
Oh well. Let's see. Okay, so we got to talk about MM and Butcher, because when I say MM is to the point where he is considering like shooting Butcher or Hughie if he has to, I'm like, oh, y'all done pissed this man off like to the nth power. Because and I don't know if he realizes that shooting them might not do anything to them because they're taking the temp V, but he's in that mindset where he's like, look, they are on the same playing field with Soldier Boy now. Soldier Boy is my enemy. I gotta go kill him. And you know, we kind of find out in this episode what happens. You know, he says when he was a kid, there was a ruckus outside of his house, And Soldier Boy was there to kind of take care of it. He goes to get his granddad out of bed and like, hey, granddad, Soldier Boy is here. Soldier Boy is here. And Soldier Boy picks up the car. Oh, that's what happened. The people outside were trying to steal a Benz. So Soldier Boy picks up the Benz and throws it through MM's house. And his grandfather gets killed. So that is the start of his whole vendetta against Soldier Boy.
So Soldier Boy is, when you see someone trying to steal a car, instead of just stopping them, he throws the car through a building.
See, that I was trying to understand too. I was like, what was the like?
I'm not understanding the thought process there.
Superheroes that need to show off their power, but at this point, Soldier Boy is quote unquote, he's the America's hero for his time period. Everybody already knows what he can do. So why would you need to throw a car, and why would you throw it through someone's house? What was the purpose?
There is no purpose. It's basically the theory that superheroes cause damage, collateral damage. They don't care as long as they get their man. I mean, you see that in the DC universe a lot. You see it in Marvel a lot. Basically, I forget which storyline. I think it was Marvel do a damage control the team where they did. I'm sorry. It was Lethal Weapon. It was episode Lethal Weapon when it was on back a couple of years ago. At the end of the episode, they tallied up how much damage the boys had done, and it was like $6 million in downtown LA. So when they gave them that the bill, they were like, "Oh, we didn't mean to do that. But we got our guy." So that's the whole concept. They don't think when you're out there fighting, say Flash, Black Panther, whoever, whatever. You don't stop and think, "Oh, I'm going to throw this car through the window to get the bad guy," not thinking I'm going to hurt the people inside the house. You're just thinking, I'm going to get the bad guy.
And the bad guy was right there in front of him.
I know this,
I don't understand.
Like there's no reason to throw the car. It's like, what'd the car do? The car didn't do shit. Well, like, why are you throwing the car?
Okay. I mean, if anything, if you're trying to catch the bad guys who's trying to steal the car, roll the car over on them if that's what you want to do. If you really want to do damage, if you want to kill the people who are doing this, just all you have to do is lift the car and roll it over on them. But you went through the effort of,
or if you're gonna throw something, throw them.
Yeah.
Well,
throw the thieves. Throw the thieves. It's like, why are you throwing the car? It's like, if that was my business and someone tried to steal, like, oh, thank you. Wait, that's my car.
Well,
like, why are you throwing my car instead of the guys that were trying to steal it? Like, punish them. Don't punish my car.
I'm not trying to defend Soldier Boy, but we have an unreliable narrator in Mother's Milk. He really probably was young and don't really know exactly what happened. And if he's getting information from the papers or whatever, we also have to remember that Vought is really good at covering up actual events.
Yeah.
So we may not really ever know what actually happened. Like, there could have been, he really could have just been showing off to some chick. We aren't ever gonna know. It's just, the fact is, like Lori said, collateral damage. Like the soups always cause collateral damage that hurt people.
Right.
That would be an awesome throwback scene, where a callback scene where they're just like, they show Mother's Milk, they show Soldier Boy like talking to someone on the street, and then just like maybe he was trying to hit on somebody and hit on a girl, and she was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" He just puts his hand on the Benz and goes, "Ah!"
Right.
And it's like, those are through Mother, and Mother's Milk's like,
yeah,
that'd be a really good cutscene.
Oh well, but Marvin has it in his mind that Soldier Boy has to die, and if Hughie and Butcher are going to be working with him, he was like, okay, let me go on ahead and get this gun ready. And Annie said something to him. She was like, Soldier Boy is bulletproof, right? And he was like, this isn't for him. And she's looking at him like, what the fuck are you really like? I understand you're mad at your friends. Like, they went behind your back. They knocked you out so they could team up with Soldier Boy. They're taking temporary, turning themselves into the very things we have been, killing and doing all this other stuff for the last few years. But are you really are you that far gone that you're ready to shoot your friends? And I know she's trying to talk him down because she's like, look, it's just you and me now at this point. We have to fix this. We have to stop Soldier Boy. We have to stop Homelander. But I can't do this if you flying off the rails trying to go kill our friends. You know, and Marvin looks at her like, okay, I hear you. But when she has to leave, she was like, are you okay? He cocks that gun and just looks at her like, she's just like, okay. So
he is obviously not okay.
He's not okay.
He's not
okay. So he and Annie, they go to the twins in Vermont. They knock on the door and they are greeted by love sauce.
Oh my God. That was fucking hilarious.
Poor Mother's Milk, because this episode was not kind to him at all. He gets greeted by the love sausage.
Who choked him out, no pun intended.
Then they get invited in. They get to see all of this stuff going on with Herogasm. What did he say? This was the 70th anniversary of Herogasm, which we find out in the episode that Soldier Boy was the one who started.
Him and Liberty.
Him and Liberty, aka Stormfront. That's a whole other thing to unpack. So anyway, while he and Annie are walking around the house.
No, wait. We gotta talk about Love Sausage saying, wait, you're not a soup. It's like, oh no, but he's really good at cunnilingus. He just loves to eat the pussy up. Num 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 num. I was like, whoa.
And that was as cringeworthy as it sounded.
That was so bad. This whole episode had so many cringeworthy scenes. I was like, num 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 num. God, wait a minute.
I don't even know if I have a proper response to that.
You can't have a proper response to this.
Because she didn't even have to say any of that. He said, I'm with her. That's all she had. That's all they had to say.
It's like she was giving like Hughie explanations. It's like every time someone comes, Hughie gives like really bad off the tangent explanations, and it's like, oh.
And it sounded even more weird because she's saying these things, and she's the character that's supposed to be America's sweetheart. She's the one that came up in the Christian community. So it makes it even more cringeworthy when she says it, because she looks like the all-American the all-American girl, blonde hair, blue-eyed, she's dressed very plainly. She's not dressed as Starlight. And for her to say it and try to say it with a straight, again, one of those things, how many takes did it take you to get through this line? Because who walks around and says cunnilingus? Nobody.
Nobody.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, he eats the vagina real good. Who says that? Nobody.
No, who says num 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 when referring to cunnilingus?
I have actually heard people like,
slurping noises, yes. Stirring macaroni sounds, sure. Num 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 num. No.
I've heard people like just in jest or joking do the nom 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 thing. I've never ever heard anyone refer to it as cunnilingus. Like, I know that's the technical term. Nobody uses the technical terms. Nobody, especially if you're talking to somebody who's participating in something called Herogasm. No, that's just awkward. Anyway,
cunnilingus and fellatio.
Oh my God, that was just.
Nobody uses those words.
Show doesn't even bother me. It's just the fact that cunnilingus has way too many syllables for you to ever say it and it sound okay. It's just syllables.
Num 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 num.
Anyway, so when they walk in, what was that dude's name? Was it Termite? Termite is there. He
Hold
walks.
on. I'm sorry.
There's a lot.
I have it playing in the background, and the scene with Mother's Milk popped up, and I have captions on. He says, "Lick it up, you yummy brown bear." It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was after the.
Sorry, go ahead.
So
My bad.
So while they're sitting there trying to figure out which way they're gonna go, Termite bumps into him, which I'm like, I was actually surprised that Termite was there, because I would think that after walking into your boyfriend's penis and then exploding him during your transformation, I would think that you would be a little too traumatized to go anywhere near anything sexual for the time being. But no, he's there. And he's covered in something. And he bumps into Mother's Milk, and Mother's Milk is like, what the fuck did he put on my jacket? It's all sticky and stuff. I got to get rid of it. He goes to these doors thinking he's going into a bathroom. He opens up the doors. No, if I can say
it. What did he say? It was like whoever that was.
That's like, what Anthony was just saying. Lick it up, you big brown.
You yummy brown bear.
Yeah.
And then was it? Oh my God.
He literally was like, he opens up the doors, I guess, right when whoever was shooting his wad, and I don't even want to know the size of the penis that shot that off, because Marvin was covered head to toe in white goo. Like when you have to turn around and wipe it out of your eyes, I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
That's nuts.
He says, I can't.
I hate you.
I need a bathroom right now.
You need more than a bathroom. You need like
you need one of those. You need a pool. Just hop in the pool. Like,
what is the room that they have at, like, you know, when you always see scenes of the CDC and they get the decontamination. That's what you need. You need a hot bath and a decontamination room, because he did not have.
No, he need to be hosed down again, but this time with a water hose.
I don't think that would have been enough. That was just poor Marvin. Marvin was like, I didn't even want to be here today.
And that was his favorite. That was his favorite jacket too.
Not anymore. No. I bet you that thing's burnt to a crisp. Well, yeah.
Duh.
It would be burnt to a crisp now, because Soulja Boy. Yeah.
I keep thinking. I'm wondering if that was love sausage and somebody was holding it like a fire hose.
Love sausage was somewhere else, because they showed him with another female somewhere else in the house, I think when Hughie was walking through. So I don't think that was him. But yeah, no. The scene is playing in the background, and I'm just I would not want to no. Anyway. Anyway. Let's see. So Victoria Newman has shown all her cards to Starlight. You know, they go on this TV, what was it, like a news program, because they're talking about the quote unquote terrorists and what's being done. And of course, there's a moment where Homelander storms off the set, and Victoria is telling Starlight, she was like, hey, can we talk and catch up? And then she asked about Hughie, and Annie is like, oh, well, he's going camping with his dad. Oh, okay. I thought he was avoiding me because he thought I might pop his head. And Annie, she tried to cover it up. She was like, huh? And she's like, don't play. Yeah. So I'm the one that's popping heads. How about this? We need to work together, bring down Vought, blah, blah, blah. And I think at this point, this is where Annie's like, you know what? I'm not going to be doing any of this bullshit. Like, I'm so tired of Vought telling me what to do. I'm so tired of people telling me that I have to do bad things in order to win, you know? And she basically tells Victoria, F you. But I just want to say, Lori stepped away from the recording for a while and she just came back. Lori, you just have no idea the conversation you just Lori.
Oh man.
You'll probably listen to it and then you'll be like, oh yes, I'm glad I was not there for that.
Okay.
Till all skeet, motherfucker.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
Excuse me for doing laundry.
Yeah. Mother's milk need to do laundry after opening those doors.
Oh god. Oh, okay. Oh, got it. Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah,
he was whitewashed.
Yeah, you missed the good stuff.
Stop.
I'm just saying he was whitewashed. I mean,
oh my, you know what?
Stop.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I knew this was going to be a punny episode too, but oh my god, like,
I mean,
Michael, Mike has been in rare form. Like when we were talking about the whole thing with the deep earlier with the mammals, he made the dolphin noise. I think Anthony, you were talking, so you missed it. He actually made a dolphin noise when you said, "Okay."
I heard it. I just moved on.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, oh my god. But yeah, it's like, but no, the flex that Victoria put on when she left, she was like, it'll be hard killing America's sweetheart, but not impossible. Then she walks away and makes her nose bleed. Like that control of her power, I was like, God,
right,
damn.
Right.
That was a flex. I was like, shit, okay.
Like, I'm sorry, I understand Starlight's position. I understand her frustration. But someone who popped the heads of pretty much everyone in Congress, that's not the person you want to piss off. And they still don't know that the church leader is dead, do they? Because they've been spinning it in the press that he's been away or he's been doing this. No one has even said that he's dead. Like, who had to clean up that office? That's my question. Who had
I'm
to
sure
clean it up?
Vought fixed that shit. I'm sure she probably called Edgar and was like, yeah, I popped his head. He was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, baby girl. Because this is before she dimed him out. So you know he would have done anything for her. So it's like anytime she accidentally did something like that, all she had to do was make a call and Edgar would be like, I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. Just go home. Wash up. Right. I got it.
Right.
So
anyway, after Marvin gets skeeted on, he it's just things I never imagined myself saying in a podcast recording. He and Annie, they go their separate ways because again, they're trying to figure out what's going on. And Annie comes across this room and she hears the Deep's voice. Now the Deep is very obviously having sex with something, or somebody's giving him some head. Because of the
you see his cheeks on the aquarium. I was like, oh God.
You saw his butt cheeks on the aquarium. I was like,
oh God, no.
But I didn't think, like, I saw his butt cheeks on the aquarium. Nowhere in my mind did the thought come across that he is being sucked off by an octopus. I had that nowhere in my equations. Like, there was nothing. Because
it could have been a puffer fish.
I wasn't thinking, even with the disclaimer at the beginning, I was not thinking animals at all.
Ooh.
I was not. Oh, and then when Starlight catches him and he turns around and he's got the octopus.
He's looking like a codpiece like Larry Blackman, a cameo. I was like, what? Word up, okay.
I think I wished I had gone to church after I watched that particular scene, because it scarred me. It just did.
I don't know if there's any amount of religious cleansing that can fix that.
It was literally the best worst thing ever. But yeah, he's different. Let's just put it that way. He's very different.
And then the funny thing is when Starlight catches him and he turns around, he was like, "Oh," she was like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "Oh, well, this was Homelander's idea." She looked at him and she looked down and she was like, "What was Homelander's idea?" Like,
He said
he's a little clarification.
Deep said it was like a velvet vacuum sucking my balls. I'm like, oh my God, where do you get this? Who's writing this shit?
And then
And he
not
says
only
it with
that,
a straight face. He says it with a straight face.
with a straight face.
It's
And
amazing.
then when they turn around, they show like a side view of him, and the octopus is at his front, but its tentacles are wrapped around his back. So you know there had to be some backdoor action going on too. I was just like, y'all are doing way too much. This is too much now.
Oh my God. And it's moving. I mean, shout out to the robotics and effects people on this episode, because it's like, it literally looks like the octopus is like still, like it's a real octopus, like moving around and shit. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Just use your imagination. And then the closed captions, grunts, squishing. I was like, no, that's just that's too much. And then he was like, I'm not even doing anything. The octopus was sick. Why would you ask that? Like, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. Why would you ask that? Because you have an octopus on your dick, sir. That's why she's asking what you're doing.
Oh my
God. Then I guess during that time, that's when she finds out that Homelander is on his way. But in the midst of all of this, the twins are arguing with each other. Now the twins are TNT. These two were part of Payback, Soldier Boy's group that sold him to the Russians. And it's obvious that even though these two are twins, they're siblings, they cannot stand each other. They're arguing because the guy, I forgot what his name was, he apparently installed a camera in the toilet so that he could record people going to the bathroom, just record their genitals, whatever, without their consent. So that's what they're arguing about. She's pissed off that he did it. He's calling her all kinds of names and they're threatening each other. And Soldier Boy walks in and sees them. And, you know, it's one of those things where Soldier Boy has this, I guess you could say, mission. He's going in just for the twins. He doesn't want to kill anybody else. He's like, look, as long as everybody else stays out of my way, we'll be good. Because we know that he can focus his blast. The problem comes in when he hears a Russian song, because it's bringing flashbacks of when he was tortured. Now, during this particular scene, this is when he's finding out who sold him to the Russians, and that's when they tell him it was Noir. It was Noir's idea. He was the one behind it. And, you know, of course, Soldier Boy is like, but Noir wouldn't have done it unless Vought told him to. They're like, look, this is just all we know. So he gets upset. While he's getting ready to deal with them, he hears the song, the Russian song, that Love Sausage is making love to somebody to, which, okay, whole other visual I did not really need to see. He starts powering up, and TNT, they try to use their powers to stop him. But of course, it's been years since they've been able to use their powers. They fizzle out. He blasts them. And then he turns his body, which again, I just like the first time, I don't think he did this on purpose. It's like when he hears the Russian music and he has these flashbacks, he blacks out. At least that's what he told Hughie at the beginning. He blacks out so he doesn't realize what's going on. He decimates the house and the people inside. I think at the end of the episode, they said 19 superheroes and civilians were killed. I'm pretty sure it probably was more than that, but a lot of people were probably saved by their powers, probably, you know, the walls just kind of buffered. I know that MM probably was saved because Butcher was there in the room with him, and Butcher probably took most of the blast.
And a lot of them probably lost their powers too.
Yeah,
that's true. Because you got to think about his other ability. Yeah, that's crazy.
That I don't even think he knows about that though, because I don't think that was an ability he originally had.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily. I think it's a passive, like, collateral thing that they don't really know about.
Yeah, I think it's probably an after effect of whatever it was that they were experimenting on him with in Russia.
Yeah.
Like you're injecting this dude with all of these things, and you're doing all of these types of things to torture him, and you don't know how his body processed all of that. But we do know that he has the ability to take away powers, even if he doesn't know it. We know it because it happens with Kimiko. So yeah, he blasts the house. And then later, when we see Butcher kind of coming to, and Soldier Boy walks in to where Butcher is, he was like, wow, what happened? So he has absolutely no idea that he was the one that did this. And then, of course, it's at this exact moment that Homelander arrives. And that's when the fight started. This fight between Homelander and Soldier Boy, and then eventually Butcher, once he gets involved, that was probably one of the best fight scenes.
Like in the episode that where you had 2 episodes to go, this was like almost a finale fight. Like you could have easily put this fight into the finale, easily, or like the episode before the finale. This is like this is like the climax, like where this episode, usually the episode before the finale has a climactic moment that does it. It's like this is what that was like, but they still had 2 whole episodes to go after that.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, like that shit. Yeah, I agree. That was like that fight scene was insane.
And I think the thing that made it even more intense was the fact that at first you think it's just going to be the fight between Soldier Boy and Homelander. And Homelander is thinking that as well, because of course he's already blasted Billy up against the wall. So he's probably thinking Billy is dead at this point because he's pissed off. He's like, you and I made a pact to fight to the death, and I feel like you're cheating. So he blasts Butcher. And then while he has Soldier Boy up against the wall, you hear Butcher, oi. And he blasts Homelander. Homelander is like, what the fuck? And then that's when you see them tag teaming Homelander. Now, I will say this, Homelander was holding his own, and Soldier Boy was holding his own, but it's kind of like, I feel like it was hard. It wasn't an easy determination on which one of them was stronger in this episode. Like, they were fairly well matched. I think even if Butcher had not gotten involved, that was a fight that would have gone on, because
they seem pretty evenly matched.
Very, very much so. And I think the only thing that stopped it was, at this point, Hughie had teleported in. And of course, Homelander is thrown off again, because now you have Hughie, who is not a suit, with these suit powers, and he's like trying to hit Hughie, and Hughie is teleporting. And at this point, Homelander is outmatched, and they finally get him to the ground. They grab his arms, and Soldier Boy is powering up to blast him. And I think Homelander was like, man, fuck this. He gets all of them off of him, and he takes off. Man. I was like, yeah, he's going to have to go back and reevaluate some things now, because he's like, okay, so Butcher and Hughie are now superpowered. He doesn't know it's Temp V. He doesn't know what's going on. But at this point, you were holding your own with just Soldier Boy. You were getting your ass kicked with Soldier Boy and Butcher. Granted, still holding your own, but they had a slight advantage. You add Hughie into the mix, that might be a little difficult. And then, of course, not just Hughie, Starlight is on that side. So I think at this point, he's just like, okay, I need to go back to Vault and reevaluate. I need to figure out what I'm dealing with and fix this. But That's the other thing too. So Hughie and Annie, they actually run into each other in the house. And when Annie tells Hughie that Homelander's on the way, he was trying to get her to leave and she won't leave. So he teleports her out of the house. And they have this big argument because he tells her he's trying to save her. And she was like, I don't need you to save me. And this is where he pulls his I know. And he starts going through all his insecurities that we talked about, I think, when we discussed the last episode. But basically, Hughie is insecure because he's a regular human. She's a superhero. And he was like, I've always got to be the weak one. I'm always the one that needs saving. I want to be the one to save you. And she was like, I don't need you for that. That's not why I'm with you. I don't want that.
Right.
And I mean, I get it, Hughie. I get it. But you need to leave well enough alone, especially when before you took your second shot in this episode, you sitting there digging in your ear, you pull your finger out, you've got blood. Obviously, something is not going right. Oh, what was it?
Blood. That was it? Brains. That was basically, that was just. I think they're saying because it affects your brain, like it.
Yeah, but he's only had one dose. So I don't think it would advance that far yet.
That's his. Wait. One dose in Russia. See,
yeah,
the second dose,
and he did that before he took the second dose.
But he didn't take a second dose when they were going to Crimson Countess?
Oh, wait. Maybe he did.
Because he ran her away.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his third dose.
I forgot.
Yeah. Okay. That's why it was starting to affect him. Like he started to get leaky.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, I think that, I mean, I wonder if we're going to find in the next season, because it's like, see if he's going to have the same effects that Butcher has, like if Butcher has certain effects from it, like, are they going to each get sicker, or if something's going to happen with them?
Yeah, because I don't think
Hughie's frail.
Yeah. Yeah, at least Butcher is a little bit, physically he's stronger than Hughie.
Right.
So I don't know how that's gonna work, how it's gonna affect both of them, but yeah. So
I think we know that V does give you some other stuff like additional healing, a little bit of more strength. So when he's on it, he may be a little bit stronger than he would normally be.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's definitely stronger than he was, because when he caught A-Train was like, the fuck?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like, ow. Like, ow? The fuck? How'd you do that?
Yeah.
And he did hit that one time when he punched Homelander, he caught Homelander, and Homelander was like, God damn, everybody's superpowered. What the fuck?
Right. Okay. So we gotta go talk about my two favorites for a moment, because Kimko and Frenchie had their little moment in the last episode. They finally had their kiss, and then Frenchie is kidnapped by little Nina and her people. And it was so cute at the beginning because Kimko is sitting there like she's trying to figure out what to text Frenchie, because he went to go get them coffee and he never came back. So she doesn't know what to think. She's like, is he mad because I kissed him, or is he uncomfortable? Like, she doesn't know how to feel. And she's trying to text him, and she keeps erasing what she's texting him. And while she's standing at the window, she gets attacked by little Nina's guy. And when she comes to, we see she's tied up in a chair. Cherie is tied up in a chair next to her. And then little Nina comes in with Frenchie. He's naked. They've obviously been beating him and torturing him. And now she's basically talking to both of the girls about her little Sergei and what he used to do for her and how she used to control him. And at this point, we have to remember Kimko does not have her powers anymore. And she's recovering from being impaled. So she's already weakened. She's already injured. And now she's in a situation where her life is about to either end, or Cherie's life is about to end, because basically little Nina has her bodyguard pointing the gun at both of them, and she's telling Frenchie he has to choose which one to save. or excuse me, not which one to save, which one gets shot first, because she's like, I'm going to shoot them both anyway, and then I'm going to kill you. So this does not sit well with Kimiko. And she has a popsicle stick in her hand from, she was eating a popsicle when, they captured her. She gets herself out of the handcuffs. She fights with the bodyguard. Now, she's not as successful with him as she would be with her powers, but she does hold her own. She does get her ass beat, but she's able to find something to stab him in the leg with. And of course, she stabs him in one of his arteries. He's bleeding uncontrollably.
Femoral artery. Ooh.
And then she starts stabbing him in the chest, like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Can we shout out Kimiko for being a badass without powers? Like, she is just like, she was a wolf. She was like a rabid Wolverine. Like, she was like beating, even in the hospital, she almost got away from him. If he didn't punch her out, like, she would have actually had a reasonable shot to get away from him. And she was just like a savage, like, just beating her ass without powers. Like, right. Holy fuck.
Mm-hmm. Like, but afterwards, when they finally escape and he's trying to patch her up, she starts talking to him about how she's the monster. She was like, it was never, she said, I used to blame it on the V for making me a monster, but it was me all the time, because the way that she killed that dude with such viciousness, she was like, this had to be in me all the time. I'm like, excuse me, sweetheart. He kidnapped you. They kidnapped Frenchie. They tortured Frenchie. They were about to kill you. Talked about killing him. This man beat you bloody. He kept punching you in the area that you just had surgery on. No, he kind of deserved it. I'm not a monster. I probably would have done the same. He deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's one of those things where she and Frenchie both have to kind of come to terms with who they think they are, because one of the things that little Nina says to Kimiko when she's given all of, her little dialogue, she's talking about the times that Frenchie killed for her. And what was it? She's showing his scars on his body. And she's talking about the different jobs that he did to earn those scars. And the one that she says is her favorite is the one on his knees. And she talks about when he was 14, he broke a glass bottle, and his father made him kneel in the glass and told him he could not get up. And he followed instructions so well that even when his father left the house to go get drunk and ended up in a whorehouse, he still was kneeling in the glass. And she was like, he likes obedience. He likes people telling him what to do, and he likes pain. And this is the thing that I think for Frenchie, it's something that he's now ashamed of, where I think before he met Kimiko, he probably wasn't ashamed of it, just from the different things that he said before. But she's also telling him, look, this is not you anymore. Like, we can't keep letting these people tell us what we are. And that's where we kind of leave them. But it's like one of those things where, I don't know, I think at this point, they're going to have to figure out who they are and what they want to do. A couple of episodes ago, they were talking about leaving Butcher's group, because at this point, Billy is just using them for what he can get out of them. And that's part of the problem, because he's treating them like the monster and like the foot soldier that obeys orders, instead of treating them as real people. We talked about that with the episode where they went to Russia. It's like he doesn't even regard them as real people. It's like, okay, well, you guys are going to help me get whatever it is I need, and you're going to do whatever it is I tell you to do in order for me to achieve this. And I think, especially after this episode here, what just happened with them, I think they're probably going to be like, yeah, you know what, we're done with this shit anymore, because she could have died. She has no powers now.
Yeah, especially from being punched in her stitches. Like, geez, like,
not just the stitches, she had surgery,
right?
So
it's like, She should have been like, I'm surprised she didn't bleed out and was unconscious.
Right.
Like, I don't see why she wouldn't be. It's like you said, she doesn't have any power. She can't heal. So it's
Right.
like she should have bled out. She should have kind of bled out there.
Yeah. Like Sharita over there on the couch, laid out, passed out. All you did was get up, try to hit somebody and get knocked out. Girl, if you don't go fix somebody some dinner, they saved you. They saved you. They should be the ones that's sitting over there on the couch, lounging,
go fix
sleep.
Right.
But my heart hurts for them. Because she looked like she was so upset about the fact. She was like, I'm the monster. It's me. And I tell you, I say it all the time, like she has one of those expressions where she's a badass and she can kick ass, but at the same time, you just want to hold her like a child and just be like, it's okay, baby, it's okay.
Yeah, especially when she was in the hospital and she was texting Frenchie, was the kiss a mistake? I was like, no.
Are you mad at me? I promise I won't do it again. And then she was just like, let's watch Singing in the Rain next. And that's the one she actually says, like, okay, we're just going to avoid talking about the thing until we have to talk about the thing. So.
And I was like, another musical? What? Yes.
No.
Yes, please.
No.
Yes,
no.
please.
No.
It wasn't that bad. No. It wasn't that bad. Wait a minute. I just noticed so it's playing in the background, and it's the part where Hughie and A-Train are confronting each other. And I just noticed there's a waiter who was walking past with a tray. And it looks like he has different one's like a baby bottle, one looks like a douche bottle. It's just like, I guess that would be appropriate for the environment. I seriously doubt if anybody was practicing safe sex here.
There's so much inappropriateness going on. It's like
so
when the Oreo guy came up and put his hand on Huey's shoulder and whispered in his ear, he was like, "Oh, that's so sweet, but I got to give my butthole a rest." It's like, Jesus Christ. There's so much going on. It's like people making ice dildos. It's like the reappearance of Starlight's vibrator flying through the air.
The ice dildo. Because that thing had like little, I don't know which branches. Yeah, it was.
It was ribbed for her pleasure. I don't know. That was kind of weird.
I don't know if ribbed is the appropriate. I don't know.
My God, there was so much going on. Dude with mind powers, he was literally mind fucking people, and it's like
that shit was funny. That was funny.
I was like, dude, like everybody.
That was funny.
Yeah. There was so. It's like you can't even. It's like I couldn't even focus on it. It's like I would break my pause button, just like, wait, what the fuck are they doing? Okay, what the fuck was that? Oh shit, the fuck. It's like turn your head sideways, like, God damn, I didn't know that was supposed to shit. Like so much going on, like, God damn.
It was, but I still feel like even with all of that going on, it's kind of like, and I don't know if maybe we're just desensitized to it because we have seen other shows or other movies where those types of scenes might be a little bit more detailed or a little bit more explicit because they may be cable, because it may be a film, and in some things you can show things a lot more. But it, like I said, it still felt like it wasn't. It wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't match the hype. But I mean, it was still a fun episode. I don't think we were looking at the scene or looking for the scene. Like nobody's gonna watch this scene and be like, "Oh my God, I'm aroused. Let me go." No, like you literally watch scenes like this to take them apart and talk about. Oh, okay, well that works. Oh, why did they do that? Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's funny. there was a lot of that in this episode for me, especially in those scenes. It was just, I don't know. Like I said, I just thought it wasn't one of those things where it was like, oh my God, what did I just watch? No, it was okay. Like I said, there were other things that kind of gave me the shock factor more. Mother's milk getting drenched, that was definitely one. Blue Hawk getting drugged. I was not expecting that, not in that way. Like, I figured what was going to happen once A-Train took off with him and you saw his hat roll around, because that means that he was dragging him so quickly that his hat fell off. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be good for him. And then you just kind of see it. It's just like, oh, gross. Mother's milk trying to throw the canister at Soldier Boy, thinking it was going to knock him out, and Soldier Boy picks it up and he inhales the smoke and blows it out like he's smoking. He was like, what did you think that was going to do? Poor Marvin. He did not have it easy in this episode.
He didn't have a shot. I don't know what he thought he was going to do to anybody in this episode. Like, you're not going to be able to do anything. He gets the bat, it just keeps hitting Butcher, and it's like, I mean, let it out, that's fine. But it's like Butcher just looked at him like, bruv, what are you doing?
He was in the same place that A-Train is in. Their emotions is dictating their actions. Like, he's not really thinking about how outclassed he is. He just wants to get his revenge. Because even when Starlight stops him, like, Soldier Boy and Homelander are duking it out, and he picks up a gun like he's gonna go do something, and Starlight is like, dude, we need you.
Right. You're bringing a gun to a superpower fight.
Right. She literally had to drag him out of there because he was going to try to kill Soldier Boy. And dude, you are not ready for that. Unless, they go along with the comic books and he really is, somewhat of a soup and just doesn't know it.
Yeah.
So
that's what I thought that was going to actually happen, because what would be the biggest irony if someone who hates superheroes that much turns out to be one himself?
Well, I mean, Butcher in this season.
That's Butcher made himself one.
Made himself.
That's not the same as
right.
Unknowingly being one.
Yeah. I mean,
and what was going through Homelander's mind when he was looking at the bruise on his face? Like, was he really thinking, I might be in trouble?
Can we talk about Anthony Starr earning like Golden Globe and Emmy nominations in this episode alone? Like, even from that scene, from the scene before when he was talking to himself in the mirror, pretty much Smeagol and Golluming himself in the mirror. Like, dude killed this shit. I'm just like, fuck, man. I was really impressed with how he just totally like handled that. Like, it was crazy. And like, he was, I mean, from looking like confident in the mirror to looking like almost a tortured child, like in real life, just like, I want people to like me. And it's like the vulnerability,
him actually having to admit that to himself.
Right. Like, that whole thing was just crazy. Like, I mean, he acted his ass off just from, and then like from finding out that Noir ran, he was like, no, he wouldn't do that. No. I mean, his facial expressions, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He
like, he was really hurt that Noir abandoned him.
Right. The only person that he felt like he could count on in the whole world, literally the only person that he could count on, jetted.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, kudos to him. I'm glad he got a Golden Globe nod for nomination for his performance. I hope he gets the Emmy nomination and wins it, because between him and this performance by him and Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight, I'm just like, like, what more do nerds want? Like, this shit was crazy.
Yeah. Termite getting stepped on by Homelander.
Rest in peace to little homie. He made it through all that stuff. He made it through getting drenched and ODing in a bag of cocaine to just get crushed under Homelander's heel. Like,
right.
oh my God, like he lost his powers while he was short and he couldn't grow. Like, dude, that had that
What a way to
sucks.
go.
What a way to fucking go.
And of course, the Deep runs out of the house with a bag.
In a Target bag, like, oh God, stop.
With the
That had to
octopus and
be.
takes off.
I was laughing so hard at that. He is in a plastic bag.
I was like,
Oh my
Starlight asked you to help her save all of these people, and you were preoccupied with the octopus.
No,
That must have
he
been
saved
some
one.
good.
He saved one.
That must
He
have been
saved
some
one.
some
So
good.
each one saved one. He did what he had to do. Yes, I'll take this octopus to go.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, this episode it was fun. Like I said, I was a little underwhelmed, but I still liked the episode. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but it was
Like,
a lot of fun. I was like,
the,
I can't wait to talk about this episode. This is going to be funny.
the fight scene in this episode made up for it. Like Homelander and Soldier Boy at first, then Homelander and Butcher. Like when Butcher got back up, he was like, "How'd you do that?" Scorched earth. And then they started fighting, and Butcher gave him that maniacal grin when he found out he wasn't getting hurt by him. Right. He was like, "Yeah, come on, cunt." Mm-hmm. And then they did the laser standoff between the two of them when they both shot their eye lasers at each other. Yeah. I was like, "Oh shit,
okay,
that's fucking fire."
When they were doing that, and Homelander was in the air, and Soldier Boy looked at him, and what he did was he grabbed that cape and brought him down. I was like, "Oh, that was like
no,
like it hurt." That looked
I can hear Edna now.
That's what I thought when I saw it too. This is why we don't wear capes. This is why we don't wear capes, because he literally grabs him by the cape. He drags him down, body slams him, and then he uses the cape to throw him into the wall. I was like, this is just.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that whole fight was just awesome.
It was good. It was good. But we still have 2 episodes, so there's got to be another fight. You can't just give us this big fight and then just not give us anything for the other 2 episodes. So we're going to see another fight between those 2.
Like we didn't see Maven this whole episode.
No,
yes,
because
they girls get it done episode. Girls get it done fight.
Right. But yeah, we don't even know where Maeve is right now. Vaught is saying that she's quote unquote in rehab. She could be dead for all we know.
Right.
Because, she basically told Homelander, go fuck yourself. So yeah, she could be dead.
Yeah, got something for you, huh?
I don't think she's dead yet.
No, she's not dead. I just wanted to see what was. I mean, but there was so much going on. There really wasn't space to kind of squeeze in what's up with Maeve in this episode. So I get it. I mean, I'm satisfied. I'm good. I mean, I had enough in this episode to keep me occupied.
They'll probably keep that a mystery until maybe the last episode. They'll probably tell us where she is. It might be one of those big surprise reveals. But yeah, even though they've been saying it. Even Victoria Newman, she was like, yeah, they're telling us Maeve is in rehab. She's probably dead already. I don't think they would kill her off screen because it wouldn't make sense. Technically speaking, Maeve is one of the main characters of the show, even though she's not a main character in the sense that we've seen like Homelander, Billy, and all of that stuff. But yeah, we'll probably find out in the finale, the season finale. Oh, the Deep looks like he's getting tired of his wife. Because when he's telling Homelander the news about Black Noir leaving, she's standing in the background and she was like, tell him what we found out, and it was the information about the twins. And when Homelander leaves, he was like, look, you didn't need to jump in there, I had it. And she was like, look, I'm just trying to help, blah blah blah. And he turns around, and the way he looked when he turned around, like, I'm getting sick of this bitch. And she was looking at him like, I'm getting sick of him too. So I'm like,
yeah,
I don't think that marriage is going to last too much longer.
I mean, you see what happened when he went to Herogasm. It's like, was he with another hero? No, he went back to what he knew, and
Well, she was also
wraparound.
the one that told him to eat the fucking octopus.
That is true.
This is true.
Rest in peace, Timothy. So yeah, that is true. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's begging for his life. Yeah.
He has kids.
He has a family. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he's ever gonna get over that she did that to him. So.
Right. Oh, I know what we need to talk about the end of the episode. So while they're looking at the carnage of what was done during Herogasm, Annie gives Mother's Milk her cell phone. And basically, this goes back to the conversation she had with Victoria Newman. Victoria Newman was like, "You're America's sweetheart. You have a huge social media following. Let's team up together. You can give me, I can do this for you. You can do this for me, blah, blah, blah." So Annie decides to use that social media influence. She goes live from Herogasm, and she basically is like, "Look, Soulja Boy killed these people. He doesn't care about America. He probably never has. He doesn't care about protecting you guys. And Vought is just going to cover this up. And I'm not going to stand by for it anymore. I know that they built me up to be America's superhero. I'm not playing that game anymore. Homelander is just as crazy. I don't know what they're going to do to me for telling the truth, but I'm going to keep on doing it. And oh, by the way, I'm not Starlight anymore. My name is Annie January, and I quit." I was like, oh, the shit is about to hit the fan now, because Homelander is going to go ballistic when he sees that.
And
he's going to go ballistic. Oh, well.
Yeah. That took balls. I mean, I give it to her. That took fucking guts to do that shit. And it's like, man, she's banking on the fact that she's Starlight and she's America's sweetheart. That they're not going to do anything to her unless they get a huge backlash from it. So,
I don't know if she's banking on that, because I think she knows that, especially now that she's made it public. I mean, if you look at the numbers, she had 10 million viewers watching that live. So I don't think that's something that they're going to just let go. You can't explain that away. So she's probably on the chopping block. At least with Homelander, I know she would be. I don't know what would happen with Vought. Ashley probably can't do anything to her, because I don't know if I would say that she's scared of Starlight, but I think she knows that that's not the one that she wants to talk back to. So,
right.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what the outcome of all of that will be. But Homelander has a mess on his hands now.
Oh yeah.
He knows for a fact Starboy is alive. I mean, Soulja Boy is alive. He knows for a fact Soulja Boy is alive. He knows for a fact that Soulja Boy can whip his ass. He now knows that Butcher and Hughie are souped up. Doesn't know how yet. But I'm sure he'll probably figure it out. I mean, technically speaking, he's in charge of Vought right now. So I'm sure he'll figure it out. He's probably going to go in there and be like, I need to know how they can do this and who I need to kill for allowing it to happen.
Yep.
Again, he doesn't know that it was Maeve that helped them, even though, oh yes, that's why he probably put Maeve wherever he put her, because he realized that Maeve was sleeping with Billy. So yeah, he's got a bit of a crisis on his hands, and now he also has to do damage control for what happened at Herogasm. So yeah, he's gonna have some issues.
Yeah, as if he didn't already have all the issues.
Right. Right. But 2 more episodes until the end of season 3. We do have a season 4 renewal. Let's see. We don't know if Soulja Boy will be in the season for because I don't know where they're going with the story. We do know that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to be part of it.
I mean, this is basically gonna be a supernatural reunion. I mean, they might as well go ahead and fit Misha in somewhere. Let's go ahead and fit Misha in.
Misha is too busy right now being Harvey Dent.
Didn't I see something about him saying he wanted to be on the show or something?
Probably so. And I think Jared as well. So I'm sure at some point they will have all of them over. But yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. I know that I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan he may already have started filming some of his scenes. I know that he has a script. Hi Isis. Sorry about that. That's my daughter's cat. She who wanted a cameo. But I know that he posted a copy of the script or just a photo of his script not too long after The Walking Dead ended. So he's in there. We just don't know what role he's playing. I don't know if he's going to be a villain, if he's going to be, one of the good guys. We don't know yet. So I'm excited to see that. But yeah, 2 more episodes. You guys have anything else to say about Herogasm?
This shit's crazy. I can't wait to see what. I'm kind of worried that I want to see what Victoria Newman's going to be up to, because she's turning into somebody who not only is she powered, but she's smart and crafty. It's like she knows that she doesn't have to kill you. She can just let you know that she can. Like she can reach you. And it's like that's more powerful. That to me, that the threat that she can do it is more powerful than her actually doing it, because that just makes you more cautious.
Right.
Yeah. And
are we ever going to see Stan Edgar again? Like, is he going to come back?
I think we are.
That's my burning question.
Right.
I think he's just going to wait till everything kind of settles down and the fallout.
He's biding his time.
Yeah.
But technically speaking, he's supposed to be in jail, right? They arrested him.
He was out.
I don't think they arrested him.
Okay.
I thought they carried him away.
They did, but he came back. He came back after that. He came back and got his stuff because him and Homelander were talking. Oh
yeah, that's right. He was shit talking.
So he's not in jail. He's not locked up.
That's right. He was shit talking. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
he has too much money and too many powerful friends to spend more than.
Yeah, he has way too many favors to be hemmed up.
You are not going to put this man in jail.
That's what's not going to happen.
You can investigate him up the wazoo, but this man is not going to be in anybody's jail anytime.
Right. It's like, really? Well, I can. All I have to do is push a button, and I can put you over here next to me. And they're like, case dismissed. Like, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, especially since now his quote unquote, his adoptive daughter is, I don't know, she's kind of making herself known to certain people. So I don't know, but
yeah, but what they gonna do? It's like the only person that's not really gonna be scared of her is Homelander, but that's only because he's a sociopath and he's not scared of anybody. Except now he might be, but it's like it's like everybody is, if she tells them what they can do and proves it by giving you a little nosebleed and like proving that she can control her powers and do anything she wants to you,
right?
Like that would give you pause. So I just don't. I think that she's not really much worried about anybody.
Well, I guess we'll see. We have 2 episodes left for season 3.
Man.
And I guess,
man, after this episode, I'm spent.
You know what? And on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fandom Hybrid. We have a Discord channel that you can chat with us on. We have a YouTube channel that you can watch our videos on, and you can listen to us on all social media platforms. And you can listen to us on all. I can't get it out. Mike fucked me up. And you can listen to us on all podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.